Hello, namaskar and a very warm welcome to all the viewers in a special broadcast Tokyo Spirit of Sports with me Deepika. In today's edition, we will bring you all updates on the ongoing Tokyo Olympics with news, views, analysis and stats with special focus on today's top highlight at Tokyo 2020. Starting with leading story of the day for Indian fans, weightlifter Mirabai Chanu today returns to India after a sensational show at the ongoing Tokyo Olympics. The silver medalist underwent a mandatory RT-PCR test at the Delhi airport. Mirabai Chanu, the lone contender at the Tokyo Olympics in the sport of weightlifting, had opened India's medals tally on Saturday by bagging a silver medal in the women's 49 kg weight category after 20 years.
2016 से हमने पूरा तैयार की थी। 2016 जो ओलंपिक किया तो उसी में हमारी फर्स्ट ओलंपिक पे थे तो थोड़ा नर्वस भी हो गया था तो मेरा मेडल मिस हो गया था। उसी के बाद हमने पूरा मेहनत की थी। हमने ट्रेनिंग चेंज किया, कैसे करना है। रियो से मैंने बहुत सारी सीखी है। तो उसी के बाद हमने पूरा दिल से मेहनत किया, इतना हार्ड वर्क किया था। ये 5 साल हमने पूरा सेक्रीफाइस करके हमने ये टोक्यो ओलंपिक में एक मेडल लेने के लिए हमने बहुत ही मेहनत की और बहुत सारी सेक्रीफाइस किया तो आज यही तक पहुंचे हैं।
And now let's take a look at a roundup of all different fields that Indian sportspersons took on day 4 of the Tokyo Olympics. While table tennis and badminton provided encouraging results, tennis, shooting, swimming and hockey were at the back seat. More in this report.
It is day 3 at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics and here's the Indian contingent performance at the Olympic Games on 4th day. Indian table tennis player A. Sharath Kamal overcame a sluggish start to beat Portugal's Tiago Polonia in the men's singles second round. Sharath struggled in the first game but pulled himself up just in time to win in 49 minutes to set up a clash with defending champion Ma Long from China. However, in rest of sports, India remained on a back seat. Starting with badminton, world number 10 Satvik Sairaj, Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty were comfortably outclassed in their men's doubles Group A match against world number 1 Kevin Sanjaya Sukamuyo and Gideon Marcus Fernaldi. Satvik Sairaj and Chirag lost the fixture in a little over 30 minutes in straight games 21-13, 21-12. Despite the defeat, the star Indian doubles players are in contention to reach the quarter-final of the men's doubles competition. India paddler Manika Batra bowed out of the women's singles event after losing her round 3 match against Austria's Sofia Polkanova. Sofia Polkanova defeated Batra 4-0 as the match lasted just 27 minutes. Batra and Polkanova did exchange some great points to start the match, but it was Austrian who prevailed against Manika's rally and took the first set 11-8. India paddler Sutirtha Mukherjee bowed out of the women's single event after losing her round 2 match against Portugal's Fuyu here at Tokyo Metropolitan Gym. Table Fuyu defeated Mukherjee 4-0 and the match lasted for just 23 minutes. In tennis, Sumit Nagal was blown away by world number 2's thunderous strokes and serves in the men's singles second round as India's tennis challenge all but ended at the Tokyo Games. The Russian did not even need his A game as he cruised to a 6-2, 6-1 win in just 66 minutes against 160th ranked Nagal. Indian archers made a quarter-final exit from the men's team event at the Tokyo Olympics. After beating Kazakhstan 6-2, the Indian trio of Atanu Das, Praveen Jadhav and Tarundeep Rai lost in straight sets against the top seeds. In boxing, boxer Ashish Kumar bowed out of the men's middleweight 75 kg category event after losing to China's Tohita Erbike in the round of 32. Tohita defeated Ashish 5-0 in the round of 32 match. China's Tohita took the first round 5-0 and Ashish was put on the back foot straight away. A similar fate was in store in the next round and hence chances of progressing to the next round looked slim for the Indian pugilist. In swimming, swimmer Sajan Prakash failed to qualify for the semi-finals of the men's 200-meter butterfly event after finishing 4th in Heat 2 of the men's 200-meter butterfly event. Sajan Prakash's timing of 1 minute 57.22 seconds wasn't good enough for him to qualify for the semi-finals of the event. His timing in the heat saw him finish 24th overall. India's Vishnu Sarvanan and Netra Kumanan failed to hold on their overnight positions as they slipped to 25th and 28th places in the laser standard and laser radial categories of the two events respectively. Netra did exceptionally well in the third race, finishing 15th, but fared poorly in the fourth race to finish 40th. She ended the day placed 28th overall. Vishnu finished 20th in the race 2 and 24th in race 3 of the men's laser class. In shooting, India's Angad Veer Singh Bajwa finished 18th while his senior compatriot Mairaj Ahmed Khan ended 25th in the men's skeet event of the Tokyo Olympics. Angad shot 120 across 5 series and Mairaj could manage only 117. India's first ever fencer in the Olympics, CA Bhavani Devi, lasted 2 rounds at the Games. Her historic maiden appearance ended with the loss to world number 3 in the women's individual sabre event. Rani Rampal-led women's hockey team lost the crucial group stage contest 0-2 against Germany. The consecutive loss for India makes it tough for India to make it to the quarterfinals. India had the opportunities but they could not convert them into goals. Sports Desk, DD India.
And I'm joined by Mr. Ravikant Singh, who's the senior sports analyst. So, thank you so much, Mr. Singh, for joining us again at a special show, Tokyo, the Spirit of Sports. So, starting with fencing, Bhavani Devi, the only woman who represented India in the sport of fencing. What will you say about her performance today?
I think it was an excellent, very encouraging performance, especially against the Tunisian, which was the first time that she was stepping onto the big stage, the Olympic stage. And let me tell you, it's not easy to go out there and perform in this kind of a competition. She had a very good win against the Tunisian, but then when she came up against the French lady Brunet, Manon Brunet, I mean, it was a difference in class, and it showed in the saber competition. The duel was almost one-sided, although the score of 15-7 would belie that, but still, there's plenty of positives to take away from this lady.
Mr. Singh, is the future looking bright for fencing in India?
Well, see, fencing is not an easy sport to play, especially because it requires such sophisticated equipment like the body suit and the weapons that are used. They're all electrically managed, and when you score, the lights go up. So it's a very, very tough sport to pick up. And I don't think it's going to be a very popular sport in India at any time. It's not one of the most popular sports anywhere in the world either.
And coming on to archery, what went wrong with the archery team?
Well, I don't think anything went wrong. It was 3 closely fought sets. We lost by each set by a difference of about 2 or 3 points. So it was a better team of the Koreans that won the day for them. They shot 3 sets of 12 arrows, and out of that, only 1 arrow went out of the yellow zone into 8. Otherwise, everything was either 9 or a 10. Now, that kind of consistent shooting, well, it is, they are the top-ranked team, and they went on to win the gold medal. They outclassed Chinese Taipei in the final again in straight sets, 6-0. So that shows that India were beaten by a much, much superior team.
And if you talk about shooting, where was it lacking?
I think, see, skeet has never been our strength. Yes, Bajwa did have a world record score, but then the level of competition that is there in the Olympic Games is very, very different from any of the World Cup events that are organized. There are 5 World Cup events every year. Indians do travel to quite a few of them, so they manage, but the competition there is pretty varied. We must remember that. At the Olympic Games, it is the best of the best. And if you look at the final shoot-off, how hot the competition was, the medals were decided only after 20 extra shots. That's how tough it was.
And if we come on to swimming, participating in Olympics is always bigger, but backed with support and various resources and initiatives, what further improvements can be done for a better performance in swimming?
Well, we need to look for better swimmers. The performance by Indian swimmers has been about where they stand. And let's be realistic. We really did not expect any big splash from the swimming pool. The swimmers had qualified, and I think that was just about it. The participation, the experience that they gain by going to the Olympic Games, that in itself is a huge reward for them. As far as looking for talent and honing the talent is concerned, I think we need to cast the net much wider, look for better talent.
And lastly, talking about sailing, your thoughts and observations on India's performance in the sport of sailing?
Again, lack of experience clearly showed, because wind conditions in the Tokyo area does change quite quickly. So they have to get used to sailing, competing in those conditions. And mind you, it's a very, very tough sport where one puff of breeze can completely throw you off guard. That's how quickly fortunes can change. And Indians, unfortunately, were not really up to the mark, one would feel, to the international class competition that they were facing.
What can be done to improve it?
Look for better talent. We need to be, promoting better talent from the grassroots level. That is where the key lies. But again, mind you, sailing is not a cheap sport. It needs a huge amount of expensive equipment, a rigorous training in the water and out of it as well. So it is a very, very difficult sport to follow. And sailing is not, again, among the popular sports anywhere in the world. It is a passion, yes, but only with a small few.
At this current point of time, how do you look at the entire India's performance on day 4?
I think the performances were just about as per expectations. No real disappointments, one would say. The tennis loss was expected. Daniil Medvedev ranked number 2 in the world. And of course, Sumit Nagal is 160. So that difference in class was there to see. Same goes for the table tennis ladies. Manika Batra and Sutirtha Mukherjee were up against far superior opponents. That they made it this far is enough accomplishment, that you're in a draw of 64, you come down to the round of 16, and that's about it. Achint Sharat Kamal won his second round, but now he's up against a former world number 1 and reigning Olympic champion Ma Long. So again, tomorrow morning, I wouldn't get people's hopes too high.
Perfect. We will be again coming back to you. Moving on to our next story. Let's take a look at Team India's schedule for July 27th at the ongoing Tokyo Olympics. 5:30 a.m. shooting, 10-meter air pistol mixed team qualification, 5:30 a.m. onwards. Next, we have Stage 1, Manu Bhakar, Saurabh Chaudhary, Yashaswini Singh Deswal and Abhishek Verma will be in action on July 27th in Tokyo Olympics. Next is men's pool A. India will be playing against Spain in the sport of hockey, which will start from 6:30 a.m. in the morning, India time. Next is shooting again, 7:30 a.m. 10-meter air pistol mixed team bronze medal match will be played depending on the qualifications. Next, we have 10-meter air pistol mixed team gold medal match depending on the qualifications, 8 a.m. it will be held at. Next is badminton will also be in action tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. onwards. Men's doubles group play stage group A, Satvik Sairaj, Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty. Next is table tennis will also be taking place at 8:30 a.m. onwards. Men's singles round 3, Sharath Kamal will be in action. Next is sailing as well, 8:35 a.m. onwards. Women's laser radial race 5, Netra Kumaran will be in action, followed by race 6 depending on the qualifications. Sailing 8:45 a.m. onwards, again men's lasers race 4, Vishnu Saravanan will be in action, followed by race 5 and race 6. Next is Shooting again 9:45 a.m. onwards. It will be 10-meter air rifle mixed team qualification event, stage 1. Next we have boxing 10:57 a.m. onwards. Women's welter weight 64 to 69 kg, round of 16. Lovelina Bourgoin will be in action. Then again resuming to sailing 11:20 a.m. onwards. Men's skiff race 1, Ganapati Kelapanda and Varun Thakkar will be in action. 5:30 shooting. And that's all for tomorrow, 27th. This is how India is scheduled to play tomorrow. In the inaugural Olympic street skateboarding competition, 13 years old Nishia Momiji wins first ever women's skateboarding gold. The gold medalist Nishia wrote her name into the history books with a score of 15.26. Her final 3 runs were enough to secure top spot on the podium as she beat Brazil's Raisa Leal, who is also 13 years old, and 16 years old Nakayama Funa in what is believed to be the youngest Olympic podium ever in the history. One of the reasons people were so thrilled about skateboarding being included on the Olympic program internationally was the youthful excitement it would bring to the games. And now with 13 years old gold and silver medalist on an international Olympic podium, youth has proven its ability to shine in ways few could have predicted on the greatest sporting stage of all. And moving back to my guest, Mr. Ravikant Singh. Mr. Singh, how is tomorrow's schedule looking like for the Indian contingent? Can we expect better performances tomorrow?
Well, there are 3 events that one would like to really focus on. Number 1 is the mixed team 10-meter air rifle event, where 4 Indians will be in the fray, 2 pairs actually. And then the India versus Spain men's hockey encounter. If India can pull off a win there, our chances of finishing in the top 2 greatly improves. And so does the chances of the men's doubles pair, who will be taking on the British pair, who are ranked lower than the Indians. So that's an excellent opportunity for Chirag Shetty and Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy to move into the knockout rounds. Remember, it's 2 teams that go through to the knockout from this group, because it's a 4-team group. So the Indian pair has a very, very good chance. I would say I would look at it very positively, because their opening day win was very, very crucial. Today's loss is immaterial because they were up against the world number 1 pair.
Right.
There's only so much you can do.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Singh, for joining us in a special edition Tokyo, the Spirit of Sports. We will be coming back again and again to you as and when we win more medals and get good news. So now let's take a look at the medal standing, and here are top 4 countries listed in the medal tally. It is United States of America, which is at the number 1 spot with 7 gold medals, 3 silver and 4 bronze medals. Number 2 is People's Republic of China with 6 gold medals, 3 silver and 6 bronze medals. Number 3 is the host country Japan with 6 gold medals, 1 silver and 3 bronze medals. And in the 4th position we've got Great Britain with 3 gold medals, 2 silver and 1 bronze medal. And India is currently positioned at number 28 with 1 silver medal. Belgium, Bulgaria, Colombia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Georgia and Romania are also ranked at the same position, which is 28th in the Tokyo Olympics current medal tally. So moving on back to my guest, Mr. Ravikant Singh. We would be again going back to our guest for taking ahead the discussion. What do you feel about wrestling as a sport?
Well, wrestling, I think, promises a lot for India, and especially on the women's side. We have great hopes in the young Sonam Malik. She's only 19. She's got that youthful energy going. She pushed Sakshi Malik out of Olympic contention by bagging that quota place, and the other one is Vinesh Fogart. Now, these are the two girls which India would be, not to run the others down, but among the qualifiers, these are the best medal prospects in my opinion. Among the men, Bajrang
Right.
Punia, I would rank as the hot one.
Why we don't have Greco-Roman wrestlers from Indian contingent representing the country this time?
Well, the reason being is that Greco-Roman style wrestling in India is still to catch on. It is only those wrestlers who are unable to really make the grade in the freestyle wrestling who are now moved to the Greco-Roman style, because let's not forget the basic difference is in the Greco-Roman style you cannot use any holds on below the waist.
Right.
So the legs are not used. You got to use only the upper body strength, and that's the reason. One of the reasons why Indians don't find it very interesting, because when the youngsters are training, they are training on using their entire body, hands and legs, and if they have to move on to a different style, it becomes a bit of a adjustment problem. So Greco-Roman hasn't really been a popular sport. Yes, we did have qualifiers in Rio, but I don't see it getting much popular.
Well, throughout the games, which country, because we are on day 4 of the Olympic Games, which country do you see as the greatest opponent of Team India?
Well, I think Team India has got very, very tough competition in different sports from different people. Hockey, it's the challenge will be coming from the European nations, and India will have to really fight hard if they want to get into medal contention. We haven't been in medal contention any time since 1980. Now, that is not the greatest of showing, although the men's team is ranked number 4 in the FIH, but the performance so far hasn't been really marked. 7-1 loss to Australia will really hurt them, especially if more than one team is tied on points. So this is something for the Indians to learn, that even when you're losing, you've got to contain the damage. And that's something that the Indians men's team failed to do. The women have been performing just about as per expectations. They're ranked number 10. So when they're facing off against higher ranked opponents, well, they're fighting, but unfortunately not really able to make a mark. In other sports, different sports have opponents from different areas coming in. Shooting, again, it's a very vast field, and you never know who is going to come through, but Chinese and the Koreans are always a threat in these small bore events like the air pistol and air rifles.
We just saw that India is positioned currently at number 28 spot. Can we make it better in the coming days? Can they go up?
I really hope and pray we do, after the kind of money that's been spent on the training of these athletes who are Olympic bound. So there has been a great push towards bringing up these sportsperson, training them, despite all the restrictions that have come around in the last 15 months or so globally. If sportsmen got opportunities to travel to Europe, stay there, spend long time there, and train in conditions which they had chosen, and they were funded by privately or through the government, but they were really given the proper backing that they required.
And coming back to our silver medalist, how easy or difficult was it for her to achieve this feat, and that too, ending the drought after 20 years?
Well, see, it was all about weightlifting is not about just the strength part. There's a lot of strategy involved. And that's where in Rio, Mirabai Chanu had made a cardinal mistake of trying to bite off too much. She tried a heavy weight and failed. Now, the problem is that once you pick a weight and make an attempt, you cannot reduce the weight as per the rules. You can go higher, Even if you have failed, you can ask for a higher weight. But 3 attempts in snatch, none successful, put her out of her contention from the clean and jerk, which is her strong point. So in Tokyo, she had done well. She made sure that she had a good lift, 2 good lifts. 86, she did not bother about the 7-kilogram lead that the Chinese lifter had on her. She went well within herself, attempted 89, didn't succeed, but that didn't hurt her because she had a good lift in the snatch, and in the clean and jerk, it was almost neck and neck. The difference was just 1 kilogram. But the strategy of making sure that you have a valid lift in snatch so that you can compete for the medals in clean and jerk paid off.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Singh, for joining us in a special edition, Tokyo, the Spirit of Sports. And moving on. Well, we have to take your leave for now, but we will be back again tomorrow, same time, with all updates on tomorrow's matches that will be played at the Tokyo Olympics, bringing updates and performance analysis. Till then, please keep yourself safe, get yourself vaccinated on time, and keep cheering for Team India at Tokyo Olympics. Namaskar.